Hi, my name is Amanda. This is my video discussion for Unit 3. And during this video, I'll be discussing the Ohio Democratic debate that happened on October 15th and give you some of my thoughts on it. Um, and I felt like with this one, like the past Democratic debate that we discussed that happened in Texas, I felt like once again, a lot of the candidates really didn't answer the questions. They really didn't. They just beat around the bush. They didn't answer the questions straightforward. Some of them did do better. I feel like Biden did better this time than last time. And I feel like Warren kind of avoided a lot of her questions, especially about Medicare for all. That in that time that Biden actually straightforward answered it, and even other candidates pointed that out, that he was actually answering the question, unlike Warren. And again, like last time, I think one of the biggest topics and issues, even a theme, is everyone brought up of how much they believe Trump needs to be out of office, which again, like last time, I agree with that. It's just that I still think they keep going overboard about talking about it. And like I said last time, like debates are meant to talk about what you're going to do as a president. And like I get that talking about the impeachment of Trump is important and needed to be talked about, especially since it's happening right now. But almost every, I wouldn't say almost every, there was more than last time where they actually answered or stayed on topic rather than going back to Trump. But there's still a lot of candidates that with pretty much every answer, they would go back to how much they think Trump needs to be out of office. And it gets to the point where I'm just like, yeah, I get it, but that's not the question. Like, we get you want Trump out, we get that he needs to be out, but answer the question that you were asked and answer it in the best way possible. And in some points, bringing up Trump was the best way possible because you have to compare and contrast things. Like when they were talking about removing the troops in Syria, since Trump just did that, their answers had to be about Trump because they were comparing what they would do if they were president comparing to what Trump did. And that's reasonable. But there was some times where they would just hate on Trump just to get an uproar of the audience and stuff like that. Which every now and then, okay, but I feel like they do it too much. To answer the question of how the candidates handled themselves, I feel like they didn't handle themselves as well as they did last time. I felt like there was more back and forth and interruptions on this debate, especially with Beto. I don't know how to say his name right, but I felt like in almost every question that he answered, he would just keep going and going, even though his time was up, and he would interrupt people. I mean, he wasn't the only one. There's definitely other people that were doing that. There was heated topics, but I felt like he stood out on kind of annoying me a little bit because I'm just like, you need to have respect for the people around you, and I feel like at times he didn't. But like I said, other candidates were in the same way. And for the most part, I think the questions were fair. I don't really like how they started off with the impeachment of Trump and then also ended with the Ellen DeGeneres question. I feel like that was unnecessary. But for the most part, all the other questions were good. They addressed some important topics, but I feel like there could have been more topics brought up, instead of the Ellen DeGeneres. That's not very important to me. I feel like they need to be talking more about policies and just going more in depth of all the other stuff. And one question that I thought was completely unfair was when I don't remember which moderator asked this, but they asked Joe Biden about his son and the Ukraine and all that kind of stuff, and I felt like that was a little unfair because they were basically attacking him and his son at that moment, and I feel like it wasn't necessary for the topic. But other than that, I think all the other questions were fair. I don't know if I like this debate better than the last one. I still felt like there's questions unanswered, and more like bickering in this one. Yeah, I think that's all I wanted to cover for this. Thanks for watching. Yeah, bye.